I'm starting a series called Sex and the City. It's been a year now that I really started dating. I started dating a gentleman back in June. A few weeks after starting to date him, I really started feeling that maybe I should keep more options open. And so I found out that GRINDR was a good place to meet men. For the last year, I've been on and off that app because it's been really, really tricky. It's very sexually charged and I get overwhelmed. There's a lot of pics and all of this stuff going on, and the right now action is not something that I feel comfortable with or safe with. I'm going to clock back just a little bit. If you watched my dating game episodes, Bachelor number 1, which I made in 2021, and as clear as I was in my sober dating, right, didn't bring him to my apartment right away. I'm a sober woman, he was a sober man. There was no drugs, no alcohol, and a little bit of sex that we had, which was oral. I developed an STI. Now, in the last year with GRINDR, there's been a couple of men that I have met who have been fabulous and beautiful and delicious and sexy, and no STI. But I'm noticing myself being more specific about what I'm looking for on GRINDR, and therefore there is more hot stuff coming through the pipeline. There's really a lot of good-looking guys coming through, and physically with attributes that I really like. Now, I'm going to pause for a second. Like, what do I want in my life? Do I want to date? Do I want to have, am I polyamorous? What is it that I'm looking for? I really still don't know. I do have much of a Nola darling from She's Gotta Have It. I have that in me, that dating 3 guys, having intimacy with 3 men, and then deciding on one was something I've done in the past, but not as a trans woman. I'm interested in possibly trying that out. But still, Sex in the City and GRINDR. I'm on and off GRINDR, and currently I'm on GRINDR again, and I've been on it for a little bit. And I'm learning on GRINDR the different types of men that are out there. Like, there was one man that approached me yesterday, and I tried not to shame him. That wasn't my point. But I was really confused that he was open to trans men and trans women. And I was like, I didn't understand that. And I asked him, I said, like, but wait, how, why, you know? So I'm learning to ask questions and just say, listen, just bear with me, I'm new here. Plus I'm 64. I didn't grow up with all of this. And so I wanted to understand that. And then there's also men who are interested in like femme twinks, CDs, and trans women. And then there are some men who are just interested in trans women and cisgender women. I prefer the men who are into trans women and cisgender women. But I'm trying to be open to all men, and at least be open to like understanding what their preferences are, and certainly not shaming anyone. And I should put on my profile, don't mean to shame you, but I will be asking you questions. And there are some men who just would want to have sex with anyone who has a penis. I don't want to be thrown in the same field with gay men or cross-dressers. I don't, because I want to learn and I want to be open. I'm a side. I'm okay with being a side. A lot of people still don't know what a side is, and oral. Putting that out there, and a lot of men are like responding, saying, listen, I'm not interested in topping or bottoming either, but I am very oral and affectionate. And I'm like, well, great. About 3 weeks ago, I had this wonderful experience with a young man. He was just amazing. And it was totally like oral and no penetration, which is a place where I'm at right now. This young man too enjoyed giving me oral. He was very loving, and he wasn't trying to be a machine at it. He was just gentle and sweet. You know, I always get a little paranoid after any sex, like, oh my God, you know, like, I'm exploring having more sex with men. Like tomorrow I have a potential date with another young man. And I just say young because I'm 64, mostly anybody, and everybody's younger than me. I'm planning not to have any sex tomorrow with this gentleman. That's the same thing I was planning with the gentleman I had sex with 3 weeks ago. And I've been thinking about who I am, but now that I feel very, very comfortable in my true northism as a transgender woman, and I'm feeling very confident in my body, And I'm very lonely. I'm going to be honest. I'm really lonely. And I sleep alone most of my life, and it's getting really, it's paining me. And though I would like to be in a relationship with someone, I have enjoyed periods of some sexual activity that's been a little free and engaging and rewarding. And I'm thinking about engaging in that way again until I figure out like what type of relationship do I want, because I have attempted to date on a monogamous level. I haven't met the right person yet. I don't have any problems meeting men. I meet them all the time. The problem that I have when I meet men off the app of GRINDR is that a lot of men don't perceive me to be trans initially until I disclose that I'm transgender. Those encounters and those meetings never pass the point of like, once I disclose that I'm trans, that they still want to see me. Though on GRINDR, the men say, yeah, I want a relationship, they really don't. They may be just saying that, maybe just to, get my time and attention, and all of that. But not for me to judge, and I'm still open. And then GRINDR, I get swept into it, and I stay on it longer than I like to. So that's a problem. I don't know how to get my intimacy needs met. And just like I needed to go to a program to learn how to eat healthy and lose weight because I didn't know how to eat, I didn't know how to handle food. I overate, and then I was anorexic and bulimic. And it's the same thing with sex. I'm anorexic, and then once I get a taste of it, I can't stop. Have I been sexually active highly? No. But I know it's possible for me, especially now that in being trans, it's been a very lonely place. Like, I don't have my family anymore. I don't have a lot of close friends anymore. So I'm more vulnerable. And so I have to watch that. But today, I decided with the sex that I had 3 weeks ago, I really wanted to get tested. And usually I get tested through my primary care doctor, and I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to find a clinic, an STI clinic that I could go to. I found one nearby. It's called the Chelsea Sexual Health Clinic, and it's a STI testing service in New York City. So it's under the New York City Department of Health and Services. I went for the first time, and this location on 303 9th Avenue was really amazing. It's the first time I've been in an STI clinic. Oh my God, I can't remember the last time I was in one. And I had like a good 7 years of celibacy once I started my transition in 2015. 4 years. 4 years of celibacy. Felt like 7. Felt like 10. Because I had sex in 2019, but this gentleman gave me oral. And I'm meeting a lot of that. He was the first guy that I met that gave me oral. I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on here? There's so many men that want to give oral. So many men that want to get topped. So many men that are bottoms. So many men that are tops. That's like amazing. So I'm trying to see the whole picture here as a trans woman, and not shame like the men who are bottoms. Like they come whimpering, like with their tails in between their legs. I'm a bottom. I'm like, okay, well, all right. Well, thanks for letting me know, but I can still talk to you. Listen, I'm not a strong top. I'm not a top or a bottom, but with some emotion and feeling, I can be. But I'm more of a side. And I think I've been a side out of other issues that weren't like the best issues. Like, I think there's been some trauma, sexual trauma, that's kept me very unexpressive as a top or bottom. And I'm 64. Like, the last time I was topped was like 1996. I don't know how happy that is. I don't know. But then again, some people are just sides. They're just oral and they have no preference for top or bottom. But going back to this clinic was really, really good today. And I decided that if I'm going to be engaging in sex with men, myself giving them, and myself receiving some sex, that I wanted to find a local place, a clinic that I could go maybe once a month and stay on top of my testing or my sexual health. And I really liked the person who took care of me was a gentleman. He's like, we have an app and you can see your results and with your partner or partners, you can show them like the last time you were tested and stay on top of things. And we have no problem with you coming in once a month or as often as you need to. We have doctors here, whatever you need. If you want to talk about PrEP. My God, PrEP was like, oh, that's for like, and, you know? And now I'm not thinking that way anymore. That's really the nature of this video, is that my belief in sexual expression and a person being on PrEP, a man being a bottom, a man wanting to be topped, a man wanting to give me oral, and really wants to give me oral. I used to find that like so, and now I'm like, I'm not. Maybe it's so severe loneliness. I was like, please, just, I need a warm body. Even if you're down there, it might be that. And that's okay if that's what that is. But I still need to ask myself, what type of man do I want? What type of sex do I want? What's good for me? Not what's good for the moment. Really making sure that I don't develop a sexual compulsion. That's something I want to be aware of. I don't want to be afraid of it, but I want to be aware of it. So I'm doing my best to stay on GRINDR because I feel like that's an element of shadow work for me. And meeting a guy that I'm really attracted to and really find really interesting, I still get like really gaga. There's a codependency there. There's a bit of wanting to be validated, keep telling me how pretty I am. There's still a very low self-esteem. And I'm not going to recover from that by refraining from being out there and men noticing me and seeing me and being out in the field as an eligible woman. I'm not going to know how to do that unless I start getting involved. So that's why I'm staying on GRINDR, as tricky as it is. But I'm willing to try this, and if I'm gonna make mistakes, which I will, I'm willing to go with the flow of the mistakes and learning. I've certainly hurt a lot of men on GRINDR, and I've needed to apologize to them. And some of them I won't get a chance to apologize for saying, yeah, that's what you're into, and blocking people right away. I don't really know yet the etiquette. I try my best to say no thank you. But sometimes I'm so overwhelmed with messages, and I'm grateful for that, but I can't answer all. And sometimes I just have to, the pics are just so outrageous. And what some people are into is just so, whoa. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even try to wrap my mind around this. I get cross-dressers or other trans women wanting to hook up, and I'm certainly not there for that either. My profile says that I'm into men. It's tricky. It's really tricky. I want to give a good shout out again to this clinic, and they were just really so nice and very sex affirming. And the way that you do it is you swab your own throat, a swab in the anus, and then they take your blood. I just have to say it was really, really smooth, and it didn't take a long time. And I was in and out pretty quickly. I come to this video and I come to my sexual encounters with men. I come with that baggage. And so I'm still recovering from that low self-esteem of being so humiliated and shamed for being queer. And so I don't want to transfer that over to the men that I meet on GRINDR who are into trans men and trans women and certainly men who are bottoms. I've met the most sweetest and most beautifulest men who are bottoms, who are gorgeous. And a part of me wants to nurture them. It really does. So I like that. Last week I got this one gentleman who was beautiful. His level of shame about being attracted to trans women, it was so apparent. It was so sad. And he's like, look, I can't meet you in the street. You have to come in my car. I'll give you the keys. You put it in your pocket. And he could be bullshitting, right? But nonetheless, I could sense his own shame about being attracted to trans women. And I really wanted to meet him. If I could be an avenue of acceptance for men, just in talking with them, that it's okay for them to have this attraction to trans women, that's really important for me. And it's important for me to evoke that or emit that understanding. because I'm being helped by my experience in meeting them and hearing hearing who they are. I wish my family would accept me. You know what I mean? I wish some friends of mine would accept me. So for me to judge other people, it's not fair. I don't want to do that. Even if it's a stranger, I don't want to do that. I'm really grateful to be trans. I'm in this place of acceptance and accepting the whole sexual gender expression spectrum and all the men that have different preferences. Can't save the world, but I want to be a part of it. When I was on the line for the STI clinic and seeing all the different people, seeing what looked like cisgender women and cisgender men and some gay men, and like we're all on this line together, all different races, all different ages, different gender expressions. And to me it's like, oh, this is the line of the living. These people are living. These people are engaging, taking risks, and they're coming in to check on their sexual health. You know, I didn't have any shame about being on a line with these people because I'm one of them. I'm joining the living instead of being sexual anorexic and not engaging out of fear. Everybody needs touch and everybody needs intimacy and sex. I do. I'm ready to engage in that in a sober, healthy way. Keep an open mind to trans and queer people and everyone. I'm trying to be loving and accepting of everyone. So if you could just try to be loving and accepting of everyone too, especially at this time in our lives here in this country, it would just be, just a sweeter way to give off that energy of acceptance and love and tolerance. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Please like my videos, subscribe, check out my music, it's here too. Bye.